Welcome to episode number 54 of the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. Cousin Donnie, man, I tell you, I want to apologize to Mr. Bobby Lopez and Anna Rosenthal. You know, they both were scheduled to come on tonight, but I had to go win the championship in our 7 and 8 year old Pinto League, and we ended at about 10 o'clock, so we had to get on late tonight.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Bobby and Adam now, due to obviously us being a little delayed, cannot make it. But we didn't want to disappoint. We are going to have them on, I believe, next week via the text. So that was awesome.
Yep.
We will definitely talk about, what's happening tonight a little bit on July 11th. Hopefully, Bobby and Adam will be able to join us. Like I said, we'll pick a day next week. We know it's the holiday, but hopefully they'll be able to join us next Sunday for our show at 9:30. And we'll be able to talk all about July 11th and give everyone the details. But, enough about me, Donnie. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. It was Nate's ripping you on the chat already, asked you how left field was. And word around town at Clincher is still rolling on 290. You got anything to say about that, Jim?
No comment.
You're gonna have to tell everybody what they're talking about, otherwise they're not gonna leave you alone.
We had a little game last night. Obviously, your uncle Jimmy went through some tough times in the last week. Not only did I get in a head-on collision, as many of you know, but also played about 8 games this past week with Hex. So it was it was a rough ending to the week, but I did go out and play left field last night. And
what was the score when you went out to left field?
I think we were winning 21-0.
Yeah.
So when we got out there, it was a line drive. I think hit me in the chest, came down, bottled. I almost caught it, and then they hit like 2 over my head. And when the second one went to the gap, I took the ball and threw the ball on 290. And I think everyone in the field was shocked.
Incredible
moment in 16-inch softball history.
Did it get all the way down to the road down there?
I'm not really sure, but man, does word travel fast in this game, huh?
There was a rumor of a 12-car pileup on 290 doing a 16-inch softball. Unbelievable. That's the first time I've ever heard someone do that.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, hey, you know what?
There's a first for everything.
They can beat us in the leagues all they want. When it comes to the tournaments, we'll see, right?
They said the game ended in 2.3 innings.
Yeah, the game ended. Actually, the game ended when I threw the ball on the highway.
They called the game.
They called the game, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That's one way to get out of a jam there.
Yeah, I mean, the game meant absolutely nothing.
Sure.
My understanding, they had first locked up, and we had third or fourth seed already locked up for the tournament. So, I think they pitched Danny.
Yeah.
Danny walked me on 3 pitches. I don't blame him.
On 3 pitches.
Yeah, they started with a 1-1 count.
Okay. All right.
But all in all, it was definitely a fun night, and I think it was going to be July 8th now. I think it is July 8th is the Forest Park tournament. So
okay,
I believe it starts July or 10th, one or the other. is going to
Yeah,
be the first round of the games, and I think all
sounds
the
right.
teams now will be done, I believe. So we'll be able to know what that is. So,
Nate,
but
Nate mentioned that you threw a ball into the parking lot. Were you just throwing softballs all over the place, or what?
yeah, absolutely. So
Oh my God, you're psycho. Anyway, we're good on my end. Just played a game out in on the north side at Hinckley Park. But we've got a busy weekend, and I'll be traveling to Colorado after tomorrow, which is great. So it was a fun weekend. This past weekend was unbelievable for Signature and the guys and our squad. So um, we were popular on Facebook for a while, Jim. I changed my profile picture. People seem to love that. And then we have a little video that we want to show you guys here when we start talking about whatever. But um, Al said we should run for president.
uh, Al's a very smart individual.
Yeah, he is.
But
He is.
I want to, before we even get into anything, I do want to say I'm sorry to Bobby Lopez and
Yep.
Adam. I know that they were waiting for us to go on live at 9:30, and unfortunately, my son Jackson, as a 5-year-old, decided to win the 7-8-year-old Pinto League in Lamont. So, congrats to him and his team and the coaches. Right, my
Are
arm
you
is
a
going to
coach?
fall off. Huh?
Are you a coach?
Yes, I coach with 3 other dads, and I'm the one who goes in and pitches to the kids when the other team throws 3 balls.
Nice. So you were laying them in there for these kids tonight.
I was trying to, yes, that's the whole point. So,
I love it.
it was just an awesome way to end the year for these kids, and and most of my team is 6-year-olds, so that's a good thing. Couple 7-year-olds. So just an exciting night, but unfortunately, we had one good, and then unfortunately we had one bad. We had a delayed Bobby in them, and now they can't unfortunately get on right now. So
Yeah.
that's okay. We'll be able to get them schedules for next week. I know they are excited about July 11th. So let's talk a little bit about July 11th.
Yep.
July 11th is, many of you guys know, it's going to be the White Sox charity tournament, obviously by Nikki Lopez. His agent Adam is going to be running the tournament and is helping the White Sox for charities and so on. There's a lot of cool perks, Donnie. I believe you have it in front of you. So why don't you go ahead and just kind of give some of the details? I know as you look that up, I do know that the tournament is July 11th.
Yep.
It does start at 5 p.m., I believe, is what the flyer says.
Yep. So we've got Thursday, July 11th at Mount Greenwood Park in Chicago. 16 teams. It's open roster. Teams are welcome to conduct rosters as they see fit. 2-game guarantee for every team. Recommended 10 to 15 players for roster, and every player must be 21 or over. The tournament will start at 5 p.m. So that's early for a couple games to start. Might be tough for a couple guys getting there, but a really cool first ever Nikki Lopez 16-inch softball charity classic presented by Guaranteed Rate, which is really cool. Inaugural event features 16-team format, appearances by White Sox players, and special fundraising opportunities, followed by a post-game party after the final out of the championship game. So that'll be pretty cool. The post-game party starts at 9 p.m. So it's going to be awesome to be out there and to see kind of what teams are out there and see who's out there, and then what players potentially show up and hang out too.
So I want to say the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, we will have a team in the tournament. So we did register yesterday, and I will be getting on that website tomorrow to make our payment once I speak with Adam. Cool. I just got to confirm one last thing with him. Unfortunately, I wanted to confirm it tonight with him on the show, but unfortunately, it is what it is. And so we will have a team in that tournament. We're going to be called Papa Magoo's, and in the back, we're sponsored by the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. So
that's awesome.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Very cool. Here's one more thing I want to tell you about the tournament. The grand prize for the winning team, the team will take batting practice at Guaranteed Rate Field, followed by a sweet outing during the 2024 White Sox season. The runner-up prize, the team receives patio party passes and gold box tickets to a 2024 White Sox game. So it's really cool of Guaranteed Rate to be as involved as they are in this, especially for Nikki Lopez and doing it for charity. So really cool prizes. Jimmy, you think you can hit one out of guaranteed rate?
Are we hitting baseballs or 60?
I would guess baseballs.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe down the line.
Can we use a metal bat and hit from second base? Because then I can get one out of there.
Maybe down the line.
Yeah, that's a poke, though. That's a long way.
What is it down the line there? 330? 340?
I'm not sure. I haven't been to a white. No, I can't.
Maybe when I was in college, I'd be able to put it out there, but not now.
But yeah, we've got a pretty cool weekend ahead of us on the A National side. We've got the Tom Eggs Zarnik Classic, which is a really cool name for this tournament at a really nice facility in Schaumburg. Always a really nice turnout for the A teams, and a really cool opportunity for an A team to make some noise this weekend.
So let's switch gears. Obviously the July 11th we discussed, but let's switch gears a little bit and jump into. We'll leave the A Nationals for last.
Okay.
Let's jump gears and get into the Papa Hops draw. So the Papa Hops draw took place tonight at 8:00. Matter of fact, I have the draw in front of me and what that looks like. We have the four number one seeds, or top four seeds. We have which is the 1 seed, which is the team that won it last year. The 2 seed is Bagel Boys.
Okay. They came in second, correct, if I'm not mistaken?
The 3 seed is Mint.
Very good team.
Yep. And the 4 seed is Wally's. So
okay. Who's on Wally's?
I don't major-wise, I don't think anybody from major-wise or A-wise. They might have – you know what? I take that back. They have that left fielder that used to play for Brick. I'm drawing a blank on his name at the moment, but you would know him if you saw him. He played left field.
Hopefully somebody can help us out in the comments for that. But
maybe help us out. But Wally's has been a team the last 3 years. Unfortunately, I think 2 or 3 years, we have drawn in the first round in every single tournament. And take a guess who we play this year in the first round.
I'm going to guess you guys play Mint in the first round.
Nope, we play Wally's 3 years in a row. So 3 years in a row we play Wally's, the Gamblers, which last year was a 5-4 game, wind blowing in. So we'll see how it's going to go this year. So,
Casey. I think Moji said it was Casey. Hey, Bruce Lee. Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you. Yep's good. They've got Moj and I believe Nate and Scotty Hordecki on the major side, guys. I'm sorry.
Yep. He has that. They play Butter in the first round at 4 p.m. on Field 2, which is obviously the main diamond at Kennedy Park. Then you have, I believe it's hard to read. It's kind of dark. It's Booger. It looks like it's Boogerfoot versus Lawler's Bar at 4 p.m. on Diamond 6.
Boogerfoot.
Squirts play Iron Horse at 4 p.m. in Mount Greenwood Field 1. OBI plays Head First at Mount Greenwood on Field 3. Wally's plays Gamblers at Beverly, Field 2. Then you have Dead Rabbits playing Jug-Offs at Beverly on Field 2 and 4. Ignition at obviously all first run games 4:00. Ignition plays Betsy Boys at Beverly on Diamond 1. Westlawn plays Rip City at Beverly on Diamond 4. So that is the left side of the bracket for Papa Hops. The right side of the bracket, Bagel Boys plays Scraps, obviously at Kennedy, Diamond 1. Mo plays Jam on Diamond 4. Lace plays the Birds at Mount Greenwood, Diamond 4. Buzz plays the Gators at Mount Greenwood, Diamond 5. Mint plays FDS. Cheddar plays Dogs. I believe that Cheddar team's a pretty good team too. I think they have some. Maybe Moj can help us out. Johnny Ryan or John X says Iron Horse. I went through it. Iron Horse plays the Squirts at 4:00 at Mount Greenwood Diamond 1. Then you have Cheddar and the Dogs, like I said, Mount Greenwood Diamond 2. Barstool plays 109ers, Mount Greenwood Diamond 6. And Pac-Man plays the Road at Mount Greenwood Diamond 7. So Pac-Man is actually a very solid young team. That is a team I would love to see obviously hit the A or major level at some point down the road. I think it would be an incredible thing. So
Yep.
they have a lot of young talent. I've seen a lot of their players. They're in their early 20s. And potentially some major players down the road. So it'd be really cool to see them take the next step, kind of get up to Parks and play some of the major guys. But
yeah,
Donnie, look, you got something on your mind.
that Pac-Man team is very good. Like you were saying, you'd like to see them play a little A-ball. I know I played with Jam last year, and we actually beat Pac-Man in the first round, and it was a pretty big upset. I was going to ask you, since you've kind of been around that tournament for a while, and you know a lot of these teams, who is your prediction to win Papa Hops if we don't talk about it before then?
Well, let's say this. My Final Four prediction, right?
Okay.
So I'm not sure who Lawler's Bar is going to have, but I'm assuming it's, Shane usually puts a pretty good team together. They play Yup in that second game. So I could see in the top bracket, I could see OBI coming out of that bracket. It's going to be Yup and OBI in that so let's just call it Elite Eight game. I'm going to say the upset OBI.
Wow.
So I think obviously Yup is the defending champions. They probably make a run again, but I can't just pick chalk every time, right? You gotta somewhat give a prediction, and I'm going to say Johnny Ryan went back to the OBI boys. Johnny Ryan's home park. Johnny Ryan's going to win that top bracket and come out there. The bottom bracket, Ignition obviously is going to be tough. Jug Offs is going to be tough. We're in the bottom bracket, Gamblers and Wallies. So I can't. I'm going to skip that bracket. If I take ourself out of it, because I'm not going to put myself in it, I would say Ignition comes out of the bottom.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
And then Ignition, I believe, has Chippy.
That's Jackson Perry and Alex Smith and Chippy, right?
Right.
It's a good team.
Yep. And so the top bracket, I would say you got Bagel Boys. Obviously, he's going to be loaded up. How they call that two major player team, I don't know, but they do. And I would say it's probably be Bagel Boys, and I'm going to go with Gators. I don't know. The Gators seem to have some, or Birds, one of them, to play Bagel Boys. Bagel Boys will go into the Final Four.
Okay.
And then you have Mint and Cheddar. Cheddar is like Pish and those guys.
Okay.
Flash.
Yep.
So they should usually have a pretty decent team. The bottom there is Pac-Man. So I think that it'll be Pac-Man in probably Cheddar playing. Let's just go with, we're going to go with the young boys. We're going to say Pac-Man makes a run, and they play Bagel Boys to get to the final. So my Final Four is Bagel Boys, Pac-Man, Ignition, and and OBI.
Okay.
So those four. And we're going to say Ignition wins the tournament this year.
Wow. Nice. I like that. Not going for one of the top 4 seeds. Pops wants to know where Head First is playing.
Head First.
I like that. I like that you're not taking one of the top 4 guys. I like that Mint team. They're darn good. Wally's, like you said, they've been a team forever. You don't know how many major guys they have.
Head First plays OBI at Mount Greenwood Park, Field 3. Okay.
Yeah, this is a really cool tournament. I'm glad that you have the draw and you're able to go through that. I will.
You know what they do? I would put lines and stuff up, but I don't want to ruin it. They do an actual. They have a website.
Yeah.
For Papa Hops that they put the lines up for the brackets. They put the lines up who goes to the championship, who plays certain ways and certain things. They have that, and they do a great job with it. And you can actually bet those, at the park for fun, right? And kind of make some wagers, which is a really cool thing. And they usually put a line on every team in the tournament, which is another cool thing. So I think personally, my team probably has the toughest draw in the whole tournament. Not only do we play Wallies, then we play Jug-Offs, and if we win that, you play Ignition. So that's a
That's
pretty
tough.
tough. And then,
That's tough draw.
and then if you win that, you're lucky enough to play OBI or Yep. So
That's tough.
that's probably the hardest draw in the tournament. But you gotta play them all, and you gotta beat them all anyways, right? So
Right.
at some point. So, but that is by far the hardest draw in the tournament.
That's awesome. I mean,
So they did not welcome us very well on the south side, Cousin Donnie.
No, they don't. They just don't want you to throw any balls on the highway down there.
Yeah.
But hey, if you do, screw it. I'm with you.
There's Western Avenue I could throw some out.
All right. That's going to be cool.
So that is the tournament for the 2024 Papa Hops. Mm-hmm. I know you and I will be out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we'll be live streaming games. I know they have some cool ideas. They got some big boards and other things going on out there now. But maybe we will be able to get some interviews.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I definitely want to be out there. Hopefully, I know I've been asking around a little bit, but I might have found a team to play with this year. Just trying to figure out a couple ins and outs, but I love going out there anyway. I'll go out there and watch anyway, so I'll be there.
Right.
So it's the best atmosphere of the whole year. If you're not there, you're missing out, and get there early because there's no parking. So
I'm also gonna try to get Liam on, right?
Oh yeah,
for the event. I know obviously, unfortunately, I dropped the ball tonight with Bobby Lopez and Adam just because of how late I ran. But hopefully we can also get Liam on the show. Mm-hmm. And I think Liam would be an incredible guest to talk about the history, the background of Papa Hops. I think it's a cool thing. So maybe I'm going to reach out to Liam again. I know I've reached out to him a handful of times. We played phone tag a little bit several weeks ago and just haven't really connected. So hopefully we can do a show. We have a holiday week coming up this week, so that'll be awesome. Hope everyone has a safe holiday. And I saw Mr. Ecke post that he wants us to do a live show from his garage.
Does he live right there?
Well, he does. He lives in Melrose.
Okay.
So we can do a live show, and I talked about it. When you go to Ecke's garage, it's like the web. You can never get out.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. So we would have to do a show somewhere between Forest Park and Melrose, or somewhere maybe before Forest Park. We can get out there because they usually put that Melrose draw out pretty early. So we can do a Forest Park wrap up or a Forest Park pre-show out there, talk about the lines and everything for Thursday and Friday nights. And then obviously talk about the Melrose tournament. Maybe we could do that the 21st or somewhere in there, the 22nd. Maybe we can go out to them on a Sunday or Monday night and talk about that. So
yeah,
we'll definitely take Mr. Ecke up on that.
I agree 100%. We definitely want to get the more fans involved, as many people involved as we can. As always, we appreciate the support for the show, and it's awesome that you guys are tuning in tonight. I know we went live a little bit late. We appreciate you guys for still jumping on the chat and being cool. So, yeah, it's Ecke, we appreciate you very much, man. We'll definitely take you up on that. Jimmy, do you want to move over and talk about A Nationals now?
Yeah, and before we do, I want to get on the chat, and I want to introduce. I want to say hello to Brian Sherwin, Nikki Francis, Mr. Marasovic, obviously Ecke, Johnny Ryan, Pops. Welcome, guys. Amelia, welcome. So we had a bunch of people jumping on, jumping off. Really cool to see. We got people on YouTube watching us now. I noticed our YouTube followers are continuing to grow. We have more and more people now watching us live on YouTube, which is awesome. So we definitely appreciate you guys jumping on. For those folks on YouTube, please, make comments on YouTube as well, because unfortunately we can't see who's logging in or on live on YouTube right now. So that's a good thing. So please make some comments so we can say hello to our fans over there. But Donnie, I think now's the perfect time to talk about how you planted yourself in history in Melrose Park.
In history books. I mean, what a day on Saturday, right? You're talking about our historic run to win the tournament, right, Jimmy?
Yes, 100%. Actually, though, I'm actually talking, Donnie,
I figured. Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
figured.
about. I'm talking about this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna get this.
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Oh, what is that? Is that
That's
is that
that's a scorpion.
oh, is that a scorpion that fell?
Right, right.
Oh, oh,
So let me
dude,
let me
look at
take.
the. Hold on. Let me back that up. Look at the dust. Look at the dust in it. Oh, Jesus. I mean, dude, that's like a boulder over there. And then the best part is they try to get you off. They try to pick you off.
I'm saying.
Kornikowski's 100% right, dude. There's a hole that Richie Arico's still trying to fill. So I know I had an accident.
Yeah.
How was your accident?
Let me tell you something here. So it was so. For those of you that don't know, I'm not the best base runner in six-handed softball. Okay, I was excited to even get to second base, but I'm thinking let's get to third base on this short line drive into the outfield from Danny Marston, who didn't make an out all weekend. I'm thinking get to third, went down on my face, get up, get up, get back to the base, hurry up, the ball's coming, and then you can see the best part of this video, other than me face planting, is Drew Ladig, how mad he is after they didn't get me out. Just keep an eye on Drew Ladig here, the pitcher, as he kind of fields the ball. He's right in the middle. Look at him. Drew Ladig. I heard him out of my peripherals because there was dust in both of my ears. I heard him yelling at his infield to go to second base. And then I got lucky. They bobbled the ball around, and I was able to kind of dive back or put a foot back in. But Drew is so mad right there; it's unbelievable.
I'm gonna play it one more time. Look at the dust that comes up when you hit that ground.
And then I landed on my beans in my face. But I'll tell you what, Jim, I was able to get back up and I was safe. But it was embarrassing as hell because, like I said, I don't get to run the bases all that much, and I was excited to get to third. So for me to then take a spill like that was tough. And I had to take a breather for a sec. Sal brought me over a water and said, "Take your time getting up." And Matt Manizzi came over and wiped off my nose because it was full of dirt. So I definitely planted myself in the history books in Melrose Park on Saturday. I mean, Richie Arico's got some groundwork to do around second base there on that main diamond.
Well, maybe if you didn't have the field so dusty, you wouldn't have tripped.
Correct. Correct. Those bases were slippery out there. I'm not going to lie.
They were. They were 100% slippery. So
I'm glad that you took my side in this argument, Jim. You rarely do that these days. However,
yeah.
That's good. I'm glad that we were able to show that. If you want to laugh, you look at my Facebook profile picture. I've got the perfect still photo of my feet up in the air. So, yeah, that was awesome. So thanks for showing everybody that.
Well, so for our show tonight, like just for those that are joining in now, we had Bobby scheduled. We had Adam scheduled. Unfortunately, we ran a little late. I had a 7-8-year-old baseball game. We actually had a doubleheader. We won the first one and then having to play the championship in the second one. So that's why we ran late. When we went to go live, unfortunately, they didn't want to jump on, so we had to reschedule. So tonight it's just you and I, Donnie. And I think, we wanted to make sure we hopped on because we have a lot to talk about. We had Papa Hops. We have the A National right now that we're going to jump into and kind of talk about some of those games and some of those teams, give out some lines for the A Nationals, for those individuals that are going out there. I hope it's an incredible weekend for those teams. Obviously Schaumburg is kind of a really
nice
different park.
Nice over there.
Bring the coolers because they don't serve beer. So, but outside of that, the parks are definitely the parking I thought was awesome.
Yeah, bring a skateboard too if you go out there because they got a skate park on the facility and a basketball court. So if you want to hoop and ride the rails, go ahead and bring a skateboard out there in between games.
Absolutely. So before we jump into the line, as you pull those up, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tap and Des Plaines. If you haven't been out there, please take a ride out to Des Plaines. Check out our boy Tommy Reamer. Their food and the beer garden is incredible. So get out there. Tell them that you're there from the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. We definitely would appreciate it. So that being said, why don't we jump right in to the A Nationals, and I believe they ended up with. They said they had 28 teams, but I believe they ended up with 24 teams,
Okay.
which is just like the Forest Park No Glove National, which is awesome. Uh, and before you get into the lines, don't they have some entertainment? I do know that they have a bags tournament. Do you want to go ahead and read some of those details off? I believe Ray, he posted some of that stuff. I do know that there's a bag tournament on Saturday night that they're running. Unfortunately, they for some reason they didn't finish the tournament on Saturday like originally they said. I'm not really sure why. With 24 teams and what, 5 diamonds out there?
Yeah, I believe there's an issue with getting the facility on Thursday because all the games
Right.
all the games start on Friday out there.
Yep.
Let me see if I can find
You're
some.
100% right. That's why they
Yeah, there was an issue with the facility.
Yep.
But yeah, it is. I'm trying to find if there's any. If there's any, I know that they did get 24 teams total. So you've
Yep.
got some teams. There's a couple buys in there, which is fine. Um, Friday through Sunday, 28th through the 30th starts tomorrow. People are excited. I can't find any of the. Trying to find some like the amenities that they're going to be having. I'm looking on Ray's Facebook, and he's posting a lot of deals for softball players and getting them in new cars.
Yeah, I mean, for those individuals out there looking to purchase a new car, go
Ray's
see.
the man.
Yeah, raise the man. If I believe it's mostly Dodge, right? Or what's he selling
Yeah, he
nowadays?
does like Dodge, Jeep.
Yep, Dodge Jeep. So get over to see him if you're interested in a Dodge or a Jeep. Obviously, it's Ray's Zonic is a pretty awesome dude. He helps tremendously. He donates
Mm-hmm.
not only himself but his time to the game of softball, and it's pretty cool what he's doing for his brother
Mm-hmm.
for this tournament and what they've done the last several years, which is an awesome thing. So
Yeah, and Eggs was an incredible pitcher for a long time in 16-inch softball. I mean, one of the legends, one of the greats. So pretty cool that we're seeing. It was his 71st birthday on June 13th. So
not
he said looking forward to your tournament, which is great.
yep. We
Um,
we actually really quick before you pull up the lines, and as you do that, I just wanted to backtrack really quick about the Melrose tournament. I believe they call it the Classic now. Uh, the one that just passed that signature had won.
mhm.
There was 2 things that came to mind for that weekend that I saw when I was out there. One, obviously the umpires. Uh, they. I think that when they're umping the one game, or they're umping with one umpire and then they go to that dual or 2 umpires per game, I feel a lot of them kind of get confused in regards to they're not used to it, right? They're not used to kind of having with 2 umps. For the most part, I mean, the umps, from what I heard was pretty good. They did a good job. We always know that they're trying, but I heard there were some very, very questionable calls in the championship game. A ball that was hit down the left field line that they said was fair or was foul, but it was fair. There was a play at first with Zoe. The
That
ball.
ball that ball did hit Zoe's finger, so that was the correct call. It was fair, but it was tough from that. Yeah, I can see where
Yeah,
that call gets tough, but
I'm not
yeah,
saying they were right or wrong. I'm just saying
yeah,
there was a lot of. I heard there was a lot of questionable calls. I know I saw a couple of them, but I heard there was a ball hit by Pish. I believe it was Pish.
yeah, it was Pish.
It was fair, and they called it foul. And I
Yep,
think it was a big part of the game. I mean, you would know more. You were in the
yep.
game, so
It was
why
a
don't you give us a little rundown on that? Because I've heard that from, not even from the Flash guys. I've heard it from other individuals that were out there because I had left right around that time.
Yeah, a couple bang bang calls. I mean, the ball that Danny hit down the right field line was in the 7th inning of the first championship game. It was crucial. I mean, that was what ended up. He ended up, I think, being the winning run in that game. So
Okay.
that ball going down the to Zoe's left, and Zoe has big old hands. I don't know if anybody knows this, but John Zawoski makes a 16 softball look like a marble. He has really big old paws, and that ball did tip his finger, I think, or I want to say hit part of his hand, and then it kind of went into foul territory. Um, a lot of the discussion around that call was that it could have been a conversation between the two umpires and going and maybe getting a second opinion on it, but they just didn't communicate. So that's where the issue comes into play, because
Right.
there was a different call where they communicated on something else and then eventually overturned it, or this and that, right? So it was making the distinction between what calls we want to discuss as a group of umpires and what calls I'm going to make on my own. It's my judgment call, and there's no say about it.
Right.
The ball that Pish hit was so close. I think it may have been a fair ball, and I know it hit Brian Haas in the leg. He played outstanding, by the way. Brian Haas was so good
How about
defensively
it? They got
coming in for Scar.
in a good
Yeah,
way.
Scar went down, and we kind of held our breath in that circus game, and Brian Haas stepped up and played one hell of a
You
third
never
base.
want. I mean, I don't want to misquote myself, but like you never want to see someone get hurt, right?
Correct.
But like to your point, like when Scar went down, I mean, it was almost like a blessing in disguise that Haas played the way he did. I mean, it
He
was
played
just
fantastic.
and he played absolutely fantastic.
Timmy Korkowski says pitch ball was foul, so I believe Timmy pretty much everything he says.
Oh yeah, he's always telling the truth.
And then you got Moji that said it was fair by a foot. So I will tell you, it from where I was, from where I saw it, it did look like it was close to the base and on the line. So could have gone either way.
What was? Let's talk about what was the situation in the game. Was it first and second? Was it guy on first? What was the score? What inning was it? Do you remember?
That one I don't necessarily remember. I know that it was later in the game.
Moji will know. Moji.
I know it was later in the game. I was probably.
You guys were only up a couple runs at that point, right?
I want to say it might have been tied even. It was really close. I might have say it was probably the fifth or the sixth inning, maybe the sixth inning when Pish hit that ball. And it was.
What did he end up doing the at bat after he called the foul? He ended up flying out.
He ended up flew out to left field. Yeah, he ended up flying out to left field. So pretty upset over that. And then Mans, I want to say after that grounded or rolled one over and maybe grounded out. So there was some frustration about the call, which then led into a couple of tough swings. So yeah, we were winning the game by maybe one run or tie, but it was in like the sixth inning. So a crucial play that Pish gets on, and then those guys move over, and then Mans can drive one deep and score a run. So there you go. It was maybe a little bit later, but that one I don't recall 100% the time of that play. But he still got an opportunity to swing in the at bat. So, it didn't necessarily take him out of the game or out of the at bat, but he was definitely frustrated about it. But it was close. The entire Flash bench was on the behind plate umpire there. So
really,
I'm sure it was close. It did look fair from our angle, but nevertheless, I mean, that's something that we got in our favor.
I mean, we all catch breaks sometimes, right? So
Yep.
it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a lot of it, Jim. It was the umpires just either discussing or not discussing a call, right? Yeah. It's do you want to ask for help? And he'd say, no, I don't need it. I made the right call. So it kind of goes both ways over the weekend.
One call that stood out to me this weekend, we had a line drive in our infield, caught it, threw to first, hit the guy in the back because he kind of like got in the way of the ball from the infield to first. Guy was going back to first, hit the guy in the back, went into the dugout. Does he get second base or does he get third base?
Where the ball was thrown from the infield and hit someone in the back and then went to the dugout.
So line drive, third base, catch, throw to first.
Yeah.
The first baseman's going to catch it. The guy's running back, kind of sticks his shoulder out, hits him in the back of the shoulder. Ball goes into the dugout. Do you get first? Since you're on first, do you get second base only, or do you get third?
I don't know why you would get two bases for that, right? Wouldn't it be just one base on in advance if you have first base already established?
My understanding is you only get one base from the infield, two bases from the outfield.
Right.
But then I saw that same play in your game against Flash. Line drive at the shortstop, throws it, hits it, throws it away. He only got second base. In our game, he got two bases. So Joe Manza says you get two bases from the original. So
okay.
But but in the championship game, they only gave him one base. Because I think it happened in your game. There was a line drive at Pish or somebody, and they only gave him one base. So
got it. I got to compliment Joe Mons is a great umpire, by the way. I really like talking softball with Joe Mons. He's a good guy, and he calls a deep strike, which I like. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, how does one umpire do it one way and another umpire doesn't? Right.
That's what I was saying. And the SSA
Right.
guys were at our diamond, as they always watch your Uncle Jimmy, and they said that you get 2 bases. But then in the championship game when they were there, they only gave the guy 1 base. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I would like to know the actual rule. That's all I'm saying, because it was called 2 different ways over the weekend. Because I'm sure that play is going to come up again, right? At a tournament in the future. So I would love to hear. Now, Joe Mazza, he had mentioned that you get 2 bases from the original, which I think, okay, normally it's 2 bases from the outfield, isn't it, though? That's what
I'd like to know Joe's opinion on that situation. He knows the rules a little bit better than us, but you know, it's about just being consistent and getting the right call for the next time, right, Jim?
Right, absolutely. So, Marky Rock must have had too many Miller Lights tonight. So, but either way, let's get into the A Nationals, right? Because that's what we want to get in for. But I wanted to get those topics out because I felt like it's an important piece to make our game better. And that's why we do this show, right? We want to hold, not necessarily hold umps accountable, but like we all want to get better at what we do. We want to get better at doing the show on a weekly basis. We want to, we want our players to become more committed to the game of softball, which only makes our game bigger and better as time goes on. And then we also want our umpires to always improve and get better. So that's why we're here.
I agree with you.
So
we're just being consistent. Got it, my man. So starting on Friday, a couple 6:30 games in that first round. It's great to see 24. I think this is a pretty even A Nationals. I would go out on a limb and say it's going to be pretty good. I mean, not one team that kind of stands out from everybody else, but definitely a team that the team I think is going to win. I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, I have 2 teams into mind afterwards after we go through the lines that I think has a shot to win this A National.
I agree. First game of the tournament is Future and Traffic.
So
I'm going to write down.
Oh, by the way, we did go over the last.
We did.
There, Future and Traffic. So I had a chance to see Traffic play. I saw a bunch of young kids. Looks like they have some speed. I got to go Future in this one, -1.5. Future has some veterans on that squad. I know Roach is on that squad, pitching for them, correct?
Roach plays with Primetime.
Oh, it's Primetime. I'm sorry.
Future did play.
But I heard a rumor. Is Primetime? Okay, you're right. I think I got them mixed up. So Future was the team that got slaughter rolled by at that Classic, right? They just recently got slaughter rolled by somebody.
Future played in North-South. Lost to
slaughter rolled by somebody big, right?
They lost to Moneyline, and then they lost to Meatball City. So Future.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna reverse that then. I'm gonna go Traffic minus at least 2.5 because I was thinking of Primetime, so that's my fault.
It's okay. Those names sound similar. 2.5 for Traffic. I would agree. I would probably give Traffic a couple runs. Those guys can hit the ball. There's a Russ kid on Traffic. He's slowly being recruited for Flash. So we'll see how he plays this weekend. Brendan Russ.
Oh, nice.
Then we got Trash Pandas and Los Borrachos Softball Club.
So Trash Pandas is Marco's team.
Correct. Casey Chavez.
Yes, who formerly played on Signature as well.
Correct.
So, and they play, who did you mention Trash Pandas play?
They play the Los Borrachos.
So Los Borrachos, I actually got to see them in the Dome. They have a lot of young kids. I don't know what squad they're going to come out. So that's kind of a tough line to put out there. I just haven't seen Los Borrachos that much. I'm going to go Trash Pandas, though, -1 and a hook.
Okay. Trash Panda's the favorite. Marco, hopefully he's out there for those guys. He was he's a game changer defensively and can hit. But I like to see my guy Steve-O succeed this weekend. We like Stevie Rodriguez. So
Yeah.
the winner of that game does play into Splash. So Marky Robinson. Hopefully you guys get the full team out there.
For who?
The winner of that game plays into Splash.
Who's Splash?
You're right. We
Is
haven't we haven't seen him yet this
We
year.
haven't seen him. We haven't seen him in a single tournament. The guy runs a team and never puts him in tournaments.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see. I mean, there you go. Preston's on Trash Pandas too, so that's a good team. It'll be a good game, I think. I just Steve-O's the Snapchat friend of mine. We Snapchat all the time, so I got to give him a shout out for that. The next game is Pop said -500 Splash drops out. Next game is going to be Dirty 38s and Steady Drizzle.
All right, so Dirty 38s -6.5.
Okay.
Dirty 38s is a legit team.
Very, very good team.
I haven't seen them much this year. I'm not sure where they're playing at this year. They're not. Are they? I haven't seen them in any tournaments.
They haven't been in a tournament yet.
Yeah. So, obviously, I'm assuming they're going to have their full squad out there. They might be one of Uncle Jimmy's picks to win the weekend.
Pick to click. I like it. The winner of that game plays into dice, so not a bad draw for Dirty 38s if they can get through Steady Drizzle. Then we've got Bankroll and Menace.
Well, Bankroll is like the 40 and overnight team, right? And then they got a couple players that are like kids that are in their like 20-year-olds. So they got Uncle Dave, who's pushing 55, 60.
Dave Bradle?
Looking handsome as ever. They have Marty.
Yep.
Rosen as well. I believe they have Maddie Maddie plays as well. So they have probably a handful of guys over 50 on that Bankroll team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's definitely I don't believe Mickey Blestry's pitching for them this year. I believe they have Joey Carbs.
Okay.
Who do they have pitching for them?
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Money Line they picked up a pitcher, and it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't. Maddie was just telling me, so hopefully, if anyone in the chat knows who pitches for Bankroll, it's someone pretty good too, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but they didn't have Mickey back. They have a new pitcher.
They upgraded,
and they have Maddie's son who plays short.
Okay,
pretty good. They have another outfielder. Who's pretty young. So I think Bankroll probably wins that game.
Okay.
And
Jake Zeman.
Yeah, Zeman, that's who it is. Yeah. Thank you,
a good pitcher. He's a nice pitcher.
So he's played in obviously some bigger teams and pitched some bigger games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Bankroll could easily win. What's your thought process on that game?
Yeah, it's probably Bankroll there. I know Menace historically is a decent tournament team. I'm curious.
They've been up and down this year,
yeah,
right?
This year they've had kind of a tougher year. I don't know if they've been super good in Forest Park or any of the tournaments yet. But Menace is always a tough out, no matter where you go. And honestly, Mark Robinson put a good comment. The winner of that game plays into Hardway, which will be another good game. I think it's going to be Bankroll, to be very honest. It'll be a close game, though. Maybe a run or two. So let's do a -1.5 on Bankroll. How do you like that?
Yeah, that's where my line was going to go. I was actually going to put this game at a pick'em.
Okay, I like that.
I think I'll give a point, half a run to Bankroll. So Bankroll -half a run, basically. Okay. So that way, we're on the Bankroll side. But my boy Cree and Steve Costello, and they have some other veterans, Dave Odell.
Our guy Brian. Brian's a great pitcher. He'll keep those guys in there. Hopefully hopefully Menace comes fully loaded. They're a much better team when they have the full squad with my guy Tommy and Matt Scott out there. Those are good players. That's
why I think that game is a pick'em, right? Mm-hmm. And I could see both teams obviously winning that game, and be honest, I could see both of those teams making a run. I know they play Hardway that second game. Obviously, Hardway had a good showing at the
Harrison Park.
They had the A over there. I know they had a couple major guys with them, but they hit the ball really well, and some of those younger kids I heard were flying around the bases. So
they've got a nice team. Angelo Alicia leads those guys. So
and they lost their best player from last year, or one of
They
their best
did.
on the 40.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. He's grown into a hell of a player. Then we've got 40 Deuce and Fat Kids.
So, Fat Kids, they've got to be at least a 7-run favorite in this game. 40 Deuce, I would say they're more. I would say a lower level A, and Fat Kids is more of a higher level A. Fat Kids have beat some major teams this year.
They beat us.
I also think Fat Kids, it depends on who shows up for them. I don't know I'm assuming they're all going to be there. It's a national tournament. I'm assuming Fat Kids is going to want to win this tournament, as they should. But it's a crapshoot, and that's why it's really hard to do these lines with not knowing who's going to show up and who's going to be there. But in this one, I got to go Fat Kids, and I got to give them a big number. I got to put about a 7 spot, -7.
Yeah, I have -6.5 for Fat Kids on my end too. So
Okay.
you're right on. And the winner of that game goes into Snappers, which is another winnable game for Fat Kids if they get through 40 Deuce.
And I think I would put the same thing on them as for the Snappers. It would be about a -6.
Okay, Snappers. I'm curious to be who's out there for the Snappers. So then we've got the West Side Outlaws and the Playmakers in this one.
So I've heard of both teams.
Uh-huh.
West Side Outlaws, I know, is a Washington Park team.
Yep.
The Playmakers, I believe they're out of Burbank, if I'm correct, or somewhere out south, right?
That's Jeff Salmon. That's Jeff Sam runs that team. I think they've got some guys coming from that Oaklawn area. I know they play in Oaklawn on Sundays and tied for first in that league. So the guys on that team are playing some good ball. It just depends on who Jeff's going to use for that tournament, because I know he kind of puts together a little bit of a team for Oaklawn on Sundays with a couple guys that are on different teams. So it'll be curious to see who goes out there for the Playmakers. But in my opinion, I think Playmakers get through Westside Outlaws and then run into Sauce at 9:30 on Friday.
So I have Playmakers -2.5.
Okay.
And I am going to say when they play Sauce, Sauce is going to be -4 against the Playmakers.
Yep, I agree. Brian Sloan told me to say this on the stream today. Sauce is struggling right now. He doesn't want anybody to get. he said don't set the bar super high, because I was saying, Brian, go out and win this thing this weekend. He said, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to say that. I want you to say we're missing 8 of our guys and we're going to be struggling. But I'm happy for Brian and what they're going to do this weekend. I think they make a nice run. So Randy Nelson says the Outlaws are going to win that game. So I just haven't seen the Westside Outlaws play. I know they played at North South. I don't know how they did out there, but I know I've seen them out there. We got.
It's hard to set a line on them. I've only gone by what I saw of maybe a year ago. I don't know if it's the same team, unfortunately. I got to stick to my guns, though, Donnie.
Okay, so. I like that. Then we've got the next game is OBOs and Born Divine. So we've got 2 Washington Park teams, and they play into a team I've never heard of, the Grave Diggers, on Friday at 9:30. So who do you have in the OBOs and Born Divine game?
OBOs what do they call themselves? OBOs?
OBOs, yeah.
The OBOS or whatever. I don't know. Whatever they're called. I think they have a leadoff hitter, righty, skinny little guy. He really good player. Actually hits the ball hard. I think he used to play on, don't hold me to this, but like a Steel Gold or one of the better black teams back in the day. And he's still he's still a really good player. So he maybe Randy can help us out with the leadoff hitter. He's got a bald head, and he's a really nice player. Leads off for them. He did, at least. I don't know if he's playing this year, but he did. I haven't really seen him at all. But based on just what I know of him, I got to put a 2.5 line on Obos to win that.
Okay, I like it. We've got Mark says Gravediggers, a young team from Westchester. That's good to know. One band, one sound, Obos. That's great. I like that line of 2.5 on that OBOs game. I'll ride that with you 100%. I think that OBOs looks good. I know Juan is on their team, Pops. Yeah, good point. Juan plays with OBOs, so it'll be cool to see him out there.
So and then the Grave Diggers is a young team. They say
out of
Westchester.
Westchester. Yeah. So I
With that being said, it's going to be their first tournament probably.
yeah.
They'll be nervous. So I'll take, OBOS. I'll take them over Gravediggers because I got them winning the first game. Hard to put a line on the Gravediggers, but we're just going to throw out their first tournament, not having a clue who they are. We're going to put a -4.5 on them
Yep. I'm with you.
for Obos.
Okay. Last game of the night on the bracket, I should say, is 10 deep and prime time.
Okay, so there's my guy Roach.
Uh-huh.
Primetime 10 deep. It's definitely both of those teams. I know 10 deep has some quality players. Got to see them a couple times this year. Play against them a couple times. We just played against them in the classic. I think that was
The
our first,
Midsummer Classic.
it was our first game on Saturday. So and then primetime, I know, with Roach pitching, and I know some of the guys they have on that team. I gotta go prime time, and I have to go prime time -2.
Okay. Prime time -2. Oh, prime
But
time -2.
but but 10 deep, could easily win that game.
I agree. It all depends on who primetime brings out. Those are a lot of my guys from Berwyn. You got Mike Cadella that runs that team. He's got a couple extremely talented outfielders in Flock and Hyde, and it just depends on who can make the game. I mean, those guys, they played at North-South. They were beating shooters the whole time, and then shooters came back, and Jake McTeague hit like a 3-run homer to win that game. But primetime's got a nice squad.
We know Randy was going to pick 10 deep. We know that.
Yeah. Markey makes a good point, though. He says whoever wins that game should win the bottom quadrant. So I could see 10 deep winning. They
Who
got a
does
tough
10 deep in primetime feed into?
Diesels.
Diesels. Is that the Diesel team from the north side?
Yeah, that's Luke Gimler's squad. They haven't I haven't seen them much out, but they're a good group of good guys. Mark, you're absolutely right. If Flock shows up for those guys, they're a different team, and they win that game if they get everybody out there. They've got a super athletic team. 10 deep got a tough draw in North South. They played High Y, and then they played into you guys, which is a tough draw for 10 deep. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens out there. But I'd like to see. I pull for the guys on prime time a little bit. I like that line at 2.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it over to you really quick.
Mm-hmm.
We went through the lines, went through the games. What is the one team or two teams? Because it's tough. It's really tough just to pick one team out of a 24-team tournament. Mm-hmm. What are based on the draw, and I don't even have the draw in front of me, but look at the quadrants, the brackets, and tell me who are the two teams you could see making the final.
Okay.
And so as you said, I'm going to pull it up myself and see if
I've got at the top quadrant there. That's the Splash quadrant with Goodwood actually playing some really good softball. That will be if Splash gets past those guys, be a fun game on Saturday at 1:00. I think I might have to take. I mean, I saw Goodwood play some really good ball at North South, and they've got their shortstop is a dog. He is a beast. He's a dog. He is a stud. But yeah, I would like to see Splash play well. I haven't seen Splash at all, so I want to see Marky's team succeed. Obviously, love those guys, but I'm gonna take. I almost want to take Goodwood out of that quadrant, but I think I'm going to take Sauce to make a run through that group there. They might get through if they get through Fat Kids in that bracket, they should have no problem with who they come up with later on Saturday. Let's do. I'm
gonna do a final four of the winner bracket. Okay, write this down.
Okay.
I've got Primetime.
Okay.
Facing Fat Kids.
Okay.
I got Hardway facing I gotta go Goodwood.
Okay.
So I got Goodwood versus Hardway.
And
I've
prime
got
time and Fat Kids.
Fat Kids in prime time, I said, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Fat Kids in prime time. I've got prime time going to the winners bracket final, and
Depends.
they're gonna face Hardway, winners bracket final.
Just depends on who shows up for those guys. I mean, I think it could easily be Fat Kids and Hardway. That would be a really good winners bracket final. I know the team's a little bit different from Harrison. They had Nate and Mastari. Those two are obviously game changers, but that Fat Kids is darn good.
Oh, I forgot the 30-38s.
Oh yeah.
I have
Oh yeah. I didn't even, that's right. They got lost there in the middle of that, in the top half of that bracket.
yep.
38s. They play Steady Drizzle, Dice. They run into Hardway Saturday at 1:00 if everything goes the way it's supposed to.
Well, I've already picked who I picked for the final two in the winners bracket, but I've got 30-38s getting to the championship game through the losers bracket. Because 30-38s to me is probably going to be the team to beat out there this weekend if they have their full squad.
Yeah, I agree. This is a pretty good A Nationals. Like, we don't look at any of these teams and think they're going to pound everybody and win. I mean, Fat Kids absolutely can. 30-38s absolutely can with the guys they have. It'll be a really good game to see 30-38s potentially play Hardway at Saturday at 1:00 to get into a Splash or Goodwood. That's a nice bracket. This is pretty good. And then you've got Sauce down there against, it's going to look like Fat Kids probably at 1:00 if everything goes the way that's supposed to go. And then you've got primetime Fat Kids. So, or Sauce Fat Kids.
I think I missed 30-38s, but
Yeah.
when I gave my prediction, I mean 30-38s is going to be in the championship. I don't see how they don't. But, we're going to stick to our guns. We'll see Hardway beats them the first time. 30-38s runs the losers bracket, comes back, gets there. And I don't know. I mean, from what I saw from primetime, I liked what I saw a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they
on Saturday morning,
they played a diesel. I mean, Fat Kids is going to be the tough game for them, I think, in that quadrant if they get to that point. Because, I mean, the chalk is what, 30-38s and Fat Kids?
Yep.
That's probably the two best teams out there this weekend. I don't know. I mean, Splash has some players that I'm very familiar with. I know Markey was saying earlier Matt Cohen's going to be out there. Well, he's a left fielder that's played major ball. My nephew Brett, he's a gentleman. He can hit, he catches.
Is it actually your nephew?
No, just that's my.
You've got a lot of those.
Yeah, I do. He's always my nephew, Brett. But Zach V's kid is out there this weekend too.
Oh yeah,
center for them. So they have some talent. Splash. I could see Splash making a run, possibly beating Goodwood. I mean,
it's got to stay sober.
Huh?
It's got to stay sober, Mark.
They do play Friday at 7:30, so that is good. If they win, they play at 1.
Nice.
They should win their first game, you would think. So then they play Saturday at 1:00, and if that's the case, then they should be okay. So 1:00 is late enough for that team to get out of bed and take the
yeah, but then they got to play at 8. What does that say? They got to play at like 5:30. So
yeah,
here we go. We've got primetime versus 10 Deep as championship game that didn't happen at Cinco de Mayo, if I'm not mistaken. That is very true. 10 Deep was winning that game, and then it started raining for that first Cinco de Mayo tournament. So those guys to play the first round is pretty cool. You can kind of make up for lost time.
We should say that the winner of that game wins the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, clever. Yeah, true.
We should make a call. Maybe I should tell Ray and make a call.
Yeah, you owe somebody a trophy after that game.
Right.
But yeah, that's good. I'm excited to kind of hear about what goes on this weekend. I'll have to text Marky Robinson about what's going on.
I have Hardway.
Yep.
I have Primetime.
Uh-huh.
I have 30-38s.
Okay.
And my fourth team in the top four, well, I don't know how the brackets fall, but I don't know if Fat Kids can run the Blues bracket and get back to play 30-38s. Is that even possible? I don't know. But we'll go with those three, and we'll say the Fat Kids will come in fourth without actually looking at the bracket.
Okay. All right. Hardway, I think, wins this weekend. Hardway are my sauce boys. But yeah, I'm excited. This is a really cool even tournament. I think for the like I said, for the first time in a while. I know last year Demons won it without losing a game. Pharaohs won it in 2022, and then you had Shooters when Shooters was an unbelievable A team. I mean, they ran that tournament. But yeah, it'll be awesome.
Yes, no, Randy, we said 10 deep can make a run, but you just got to pick two teams. So maybe 10 deep sneaks in the top five. I don't know. We'll see.
Marky, Jimmy's not looking at the bracket. He's just talking about teams that he think will win.
Yeah, absolutely. But ends the A National for us. We will hopefully be going live Sunday night with a winner, if possible, to do a quick interview, hopefully in a quiet place, considering the 45s and Flash did it, and you were the only one that didn't do it.
Yep.
Mickey actually pointed that out to us, that you couldn't even step away, so we had to listen to the crowd.
Yep.
But, it is the A National. We have to be good to the winner of the A National, and Donnie, this is where we're going to use you, hopefully, to get a hold of somebody who wins this tournament.
I got you. Of course, that's my got a lot of contacts out there on the A level, which is great. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for a team to make some noise this weekend. We got Marky Robinson's at Lawler's right now with Splash. That's awesome. Probably not the best time to get Marky Robinson on the show after a couple Miller Lights, but that's all right. Hopefully we get Marky Robinson on the show after he wins the tournament.
That is the only time to get Marky Robinson on the show.
Good point.
So, you know what? Like I said, we always want to give props to the A Nationals, the B Nationals. I know Francisco B Nationals are coming up very soon. That's tournament's going to be happening, I believe, in July 11th weekend, 12th. So the same weekend as Papa Hop. So there's a lot of action going on that weekend as well. Once again, for those individuals joining, we were supposed to have Bobby Lopez on tonight and Adam Rosenthal, but unfortunately, just as we ran late due to scheduling and stuff like that, they couldn't make it happen after 10 o'clock. So we send our apologies to them, but they did mention to us that they are going to come on next week to discuss the event for July 11th. So hopefully we'll be able to make it up to them, Donnie. And we just want to thank everyone. Obviously, the Uncle Jimmy Cousin Donnie show is sponsored by the Beacon Tap. So thank you so much. Cousin Donnie, do you have anything you would like to leave our fans and our show with tonight?
I appreciate all the kind words after the weekend. I had a lot of people come up and kind of congrats to myself and to Signature, which is awesome. A lot of momentum for the guys, and then we don't play a game for like 3 weeks. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, no, it's been a fun week. So I appreciate everybody. We will see you guys after A Nationals. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to everybody. I love how mad Drew Liddick is. That's such a good clip. Oh my gosh. And the best part is that Gio's doing the stream. It's the best. And he just laughs at me for falling on my face. Look at Drew.
I mean, dude, look at that. Look at that. You were like literally horizontal right there.
I know. And like in the moment I was like, oh shit. Get up.
It is an absolute pleasure to watch that video.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, that's it for me, Jimmy. Good night, my friend. I will talk to you tomorrow.
You have a safe travels tonight. I believe you're driving out somewhere, so be careful.
Yep. You got it. I'm traveling to Michigan and then Colorado, so I got some moving going on.
So be safe, my man. We definitely appreciate everyone jumping on the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, but we will bring Mr. Bobby Lopez next week, hopefully on the show, to talk about the July 11th. And then we're also going to try to get Liam Hopkins as well on our feed and on our show to discuss the Papa Hops. I have a ton of questions about him. So
Sweet.
hopefully, if you're watching, please reach out to us. Donnie, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. You got it. I'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys for watching. Please join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Like all our pages, guys. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Bye.